screen and space. First of all, good afternoon to all our respective participants. My name is Stephanie Leonardo, and I am the Assistant Head for Business Service Study Program in LSPR. And also, as Ms. Aurel has said, I am also the lecturer for the Marketing Management subject. It is a pleasure for me to be your moderator for today. Before we start, first of all, I again would like to welcome Ms. Marvie Samala as our honorable guest speaker for today. Also, for all the respective participants, our guest lecturers, our lecturers, Londoners, students, and all the management for today's LSPR Omni session. This webinar topic for today will be marketing management. Before we start our session for today, I would like to kindly request for all our participants to turn on your camera and also to mute your microphone throughout the discussion period. You could leave your question, if any, in the chat box, and we will discuss it in the Q&A session after the presentation of our honorable speaker. LSPR Omni is the LSPR initiative to balance the students' online and offline academic learning in addressing the new normal environment. Similar to LSPR lecture exchange program, LSPR Omni, however, due to the travel restriction, we wanted to continue the implementation by making this available online. This is a great opportunity for LSPR students to broaden their knowledge and gain an international perspective of communications and business studies, where LSPR Omni enables LSPR students in taking learning beyond borders. And now, please allow me to give a short background about our valuable speaker for today. Ms. Marvie Samala is a seasoned offline and online retail expert who have managed global brands through country management stints in Indonesia for over 10 years. She was the regional managing director of Animation International, managing both the Indonesia and Philippine regional offices. She then moved to PT Mitra Adi Perkasa as the Strategic Business Unit Director of the Kids Department. Premier Group of companies appointed her as the Country General Manager of Indonesia, and her latest role was Senior Vice President for Lifestyle of PT Global Digital Niaga, the biggest local e-commerce today, Blibli.com. She is currently a digipreneur and a consultant in the digital space. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite Ms. Marvie Samala to start our session. Ms. Marvie, the screen is now yours.
Thank you, Steph. So I see a lot of faces here, like the Londoners, and I think there are mostly our students here. So I will be actually sharing a very interesting topic and related with marketing management, which all of you can actually relate. So let me share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, miss.
Okay, let me put it on share mode. Okay, so my topic, okay, I will turn off my screen backs. Okay, so my topic is actually pre-love. So I'm sure by now, or actually by now, you might be wearing a pre-loved item, or once, or maybe like you've been doing a lot of shopping on pre-love. So before that, I actually, part of the lifestyle category that I handled when I was with Blibli is all the fashion categories. So this is women's fashion, Muslim fashion, men's fashion, and even teens fashion. So I would love to share this category to everyone, which is not known, but I'm sure you've been shopping online or even offline in thrift markets, and you all love to own like a luxury brand but cannot actually afford the new or original price. So you would actually settle for a second-hand item, which is not bad. Okay, so my topic is pre-love from niche to mainstream. Okay, I just want to give everyone an overview of the pre-love market in general. So the art of conscious shopping. Okay, I've actually highlighted in my screen, in my slide, some words or some notes that you have to take note of. Points out that looking good doesn't necessarily mean you have to buy something brand new. Okay, I want you to be engaged. Type in the chat box if you agree, right? So looking good doesn't necessarily mean you have to buy something brand new. Jangan malu, please type in the chat box if you agree. Okay, I'd love to see, messages in the chat box. So just type agree if you agree. Okay, the old is the new. So these actually suggest sourcing outfits, shoes, bags, accessories, and take note, even furnitures from charity shops, nearly new boutiques, vintage emporiums, and resale websites. In my apartment in the Philippines, I actually have like two furnitures, which is really very vintage, but is actually a talking piece. Okay, so I myself would like to share that I actually buy pre-loved items. Thus, the emergence of the pre-love market, which started as a very niche meaning people don't know about it, or it's a very, very small market. But now, it's now slowly joining the mainstream wagon of retail shopping. The pandemic has actually, take note, accelerated conscious consumerism. So what is consumerism? It's basically people are now very conscious of value for money, meaning they don't just spend. If I spend, it has really value for money and it should be lasting. So they have now the preference for buying pre-owned items than buying new ones, which reflects the changing consumer purchase behavior. More so, all of you are aware, during the pandemic, the past more than 2.5 years, there were a lot of layoffs. Layoffs are actually also going on until now. So the financial pressures and also the very changing fashion taste are also driving secondhand sales. Households on tight budgets, again, without jobs, or have a job but the working hours were shortened, are increasingly selling unwanted goods online, which can easily be converted to match needed cash. Can someone among the audience relate with this? Please type in the chat box, yes. Okay. At one point, you had to sell something to convert it into cash. Please type yes in the chat box. Later, I will review your responses. Okay. Younger shoppers, okay, these are you. The millennials, the Gen Z are driving a surge in the sales of secondhand clothing and furnishings, spurred by the desire to help. This is very good. The millennials, the Gen Z, I mean, the youth we have now are very much aware of the environment and actually help finding alternative looks to fast fashion. Vintage is very much in and is the new glamour factor, which gave birth to both online and offline thrift shops. Just FYI, even the famous Kim Kardashian have actually opened her shop in New York, and these are all second-hand items, very vintage. And take note, higher price tags are slapped on more older, branded, one-of-a-kind, and much coveted items, especially those worn and endorsed by influencers and celebrities. Pre-love have also pushed manufacturers and small production houses to innovate and launch fashion upcycling. Take note, in the fashion industry, we don't call it recycling, but we call it fashion upcycling. A new trend with the ultimate intention of reducing waste and making the world a more sustainable place to live in. I'm going to share with you, okay, this is a video of a sample of fashion upcycling. She is a very young Indonesian. Okay, please listen to the video. Please listen and watch the video.
Upcycling is just looking at what's around us yang biasa dianggap sampah, and then we think, what can we do to make this sampah look more interesting supaya ada value-nya lagi, supaya orang mau memakai kembali, supaya akhirnya tidak menjadi sampah. And for me, it's an honor juga kalau nanti baju aku bisa dipajang in New York. So of course I said yes. I created 60 garments, di mana 30 bajunya dijual di online di urbanoutfitters.com, dan 30 baju lainnya dijualnya di toko Urban Outfitters yang di Herald Square, New York. Cukup berat sih sebenarnya bikin 60 baju within a month. Aku benar-benar kerja keras selama 1 bulan itu. And yeah, aku coba bikin baju-baju yang aku rasa will fit within the New Yorker segment. Something that's casual and hip and easy to wear, cool. And yeah, and so far I think the response has been amazing karena yang di online udah hampir sold out. And for me, kegiatan upcycling aku juga memang sifatnya bukan something that I would do for like a mass production. Karena kan message aku bukannya untuk bikin baju sebanyak-banyaknya, but message aku adalah, hey, why not we wear things that are made from used clothes? My focus is to keep increasing awareness about sustainability. So more brands would be better karena berarti message aku bisa tersampaikan dengan lebih luas. Aku dihubungi sama fashion stylist via email, and aku sekarang lagi mau nge-stylingin karakter namanya Star Girl, nanti pemerannya Grace Vanderwall, and we saw your brand, I wear up online, dan kita ada beberapa sepatu yang kita tertarik untuk kita pakai di filmnya. From 7 pairs that I sent, 3 pasang sepatu dipakai, and it's like on the spotlight on Star Girl, so I think that was a really a peak moment for my career in terms of my I wear up brand. I think sometimes what's rare in this world are people who are just brave enough to be themselves, to really like do or wear what you love, and because when you are your most authentic self, inner kita tuh lebih bahagia gitu. And ketika kita bahagia, kita biasanya menjadi pribadi yang lebih baik, menjadi lebih produktif, menjadi less stress about life. So I think it's really important to just be authentic.
Sorry. Okay, so that's actually Riska. So, okay. So I will repeat, okay, what Diana Ricasari actually said. Wear your most authentic self. Okay, so that's why I included this slide here, because for all the participants here, the students, okay, these are only limited to the students. Give me, okay, email me your caption. Okay, later I will put in the chat box, but please pay attention more to my other slides. So email me your best caption. What is your most authentic self? Okay, I just don't want a caption, but I want a creative caption. So you see, fashion upcycling is turning the old into something fashionably new, as what Diana Ricasari actually did. Diana is actually very young, so she is an epitome of the youth of what she can really do. She's very creative. So you need to submit to me. Later, I will share my email by email dulu ya, where who is your most authentic self. Be creative. And I will choose actually two winners, which I will send through Stephanie and Aurelia here. And there is a prize. I will not say, but it's actually a limited edition prize. Okay, so let me go on. So later I will share my email, because I will need to choose and coordinate with Aurelia and staff of who will be the winner, and it will just be sent and delivered to you. Exciting, right? Okay, let me continue with my presentation. So what is pre-love in Indonesia? Where is pre-love now in Indonesia? How it started, and what is the trend now of pre-love in Indonesia? So before, pre-love was actually referred to as re-commerce. It's not pre-love. It actually refers to the selling and buying of previously owned products, which could be new or used. So it's the Carousel Group who started selling pre-owned items across 8 markets. That's Hong Kong, Indonesia, Malaysia, Myanmar, which is actually a very small country, Philippines, Singapore, Taiwan, and Vietnam in the year of 2003. In Indonesia, more than 7 out of 10 people have made second-hand purchases before. So, buying second-hand have already started before. Users cite value for money. I mentioned value for money in my first slide, which comprises 62% as the most popular reason for buying second-hand items. 21% of users chose to purchase due to environmental reasons, similar to the regional average. 70% of the second-hand item buyers declared why they try to buy only second-hand items as much as possible. And this has been posted as the highest in the region, whole of Indonesia. Fashion is the most preferred category for Indonesians to buy, which comprises 74%, and higher at 85% to sell at second hand. This is similar to the regional preference, where fashion remains the top category with the most second-hand listings. And obviously, we women loves to shop. So women's fashion has historically been the top category in terms of second-hand listings created and viewed. In the year 2020, fueled by the demand for tops and outerwear, men's fashion grew by almost 10% in listing views, and let me add, around 8% in purchase. Similarly, the demand for children's apparel has also driven an increase in the number of listings created in the babies and kids category, as parents decluttered to make extra cash. Now, so from re-commerce, it's now called pre-love. Why pre-love? Because these items are really, name it, clothes, shoes, bags that you really used to love. I mean, you love it, that you really don't want to dispose it, right? It's now the popular term which started growing in the marketplace or online in 2013. And it focused more on the branded luxury items, was initiated by major players. All of you knows who are these players. Ribbons, Banana Nina, Le Porter, Han Street, Lips Vintage and Luxury, Second Chance, and Tinker Last. A lot of small players, mostly resellers. Okay, the trend now, Just Tip, is very popular. Okay, so this is what the resellers do, or they go to Hong Kong, they go to Europe, they go to Italy, or go to the US and buy these branded items themselves, and they would normally put just in their luggage and declare it as a personal item or as a gift. The e-commerce giants like Shopee, Tokopedia, and Blibli recently started adding pre-loved as a major category in their platforms after seeing the opportunity of having luxury items available to customers at a much lesser price. FYI, it also increases our gross margin. The rise of thrift shops, both offline and online, when hard to find rare and collectible fashion outfits and accessories were heavily promoted and sold on social media. Take note, by mega, nano, and micro influencers. I'm sure you know the difference between the influencers. They have now their ranking, okay? But I won't explore on that. Fashion upcycling also started trending, especially during the pandemic, that people were confined in their homes, had more time to declutter, and were finding something more productive and meaningful tasks to do. Okay, so why people were going to pre-love? I just want to share some challenges and issues encountered by the luxury brands. Luxury brands are the brand new. Obviously, high import duties and taxes. Would anyone know, just put in the chat box, how much taxes, import duties is being charged when you buy actually a branded item? Let's say you bring in your Chanel, you bring in your Louis Vuitton, just chat in the chat box. Resellers normally hand carry luxury items which are covered up as gifts. For direct importation, regular checking of tariff rates, which is very volatile, will be able to effectively manage the cost of the goods and attain a good margin for reselling. Slowing growth brought about but uncertainties. Of course, again, the pandemic, which impacted the global economy, turns actually this perfect opportunity of aggressively promoting luxury resale market, which is now pre-love, and focus on increasing the purchase and loyalty of second-hand sellers as the primary buyers. There's also the threat of competition. In our fashion or in the retail world, we actually what we call the brands by tier. Okay, tier, T-I-E-R. Okay, so the first tier are actually your luxury brands. We're talking of, your Chanel, your Louis Vuitton, your Bottega Veneta. Okay, but we have actually the second tier items. So the second tier items are much more lower price premier brands that offer comparable quality without the high price tag. So these actually also effectively communicate what is true luxury. When we talk of true luxury, we have these parameters: quality, craftsmanship, design, attention to detail, uniqueness, and authenticity, meaning it's 100% authentic. Okay. And of course, very popular, threat of counterfeit products. The products which are palsu. Okay. But, the luxury brands have been challenged into meticulously checking and pays attention to all details, which is the stitching, logo, color, fabric, packaging, and others. For example, now if you go everywhere, okay, not just here in Indonesia, if you go to a Louis Vuitton shop, okay, they have now way of checking. They have actually put like an RFD inside the item, well, a bag, wherein to detect, okay, if you're actually buying an authentic Louis Vuitton bag. Okay, so the manufacturers have also innovated, okay, to check against counterfeiting their products. Okay, so I have already shared to you what is the industry of pre-love, but I want now to share to you, so I'm presenting through a pinwheel, what is the DNA? Okay, why pre-love is now becoming successful and slowly Actually, not slowly. It has already joined the retail market. So brands, these are luxury fashion brands for less. Is actually a unique destination that you can both sell and buy offline and online. Products, okay, products that are sold online and even offline, because offline you can actually check, but mostly online, these are meticulously curated and carefully planned wide assortments that meets the customer demands, behavior, and preference. Preference is number one, of course, the price. And you are assured that it's 100% original. Authenticity is never compromised, and it now adapts to the emerging and growing new business model of luxury resale market. There's a lot of strategies that are being done on the back end as well as on the front end. It's very target market focused. These are the emerging aspirational young market, which is you. I mean, students here, you are the young market, and the brand loyalist. And, you know, when among us, if you're in the digital space, we always talk of seamless journey. Technical term would be your UI, user interface, or UX, which is the user experience. Happy sellers with endless options to sell and earn cash. It is supported with data analytics and logistics support, and satisfied customers that purchase the products they want within their budget. Let me have a quick water break. Okay, so for pre-love, like based on our experience, what is the marketing strategy there that we did and actually still being done right now? So we understand the customer, because we have two kinds of customers, which is the seller and the buyers. The sellers are the ones who wants to sell their items on a platform. So we do a deep dive persona check. So what is a persona check? So we deep dive into what the person is doing, preference, everything. So this includes demographics, like where do you live, what part of Indonesia do you live, the brands and products that you actually buy and sell and purchase. So AOV is average order value. In layman's terms, is the basket size, the frequency of selling and buying, and the cross-category purchase. So there are times that I'm a Juanita, I'm a woman, I go to women's fashion, but I need to buy something for my husband or for my boyfriend. So I go to the men's category. So that's what we call the cross-category purchase. Number two, we analyze the resale luxury market. So first is the opportunities, growth, and is there an opportunity? Is there a growth, and is there really a sustainable business? And now there's like a lot of platforms which is growing like mushrooms. So we study the competition. We analyze and define the target market. The millennials and the Gen Z is an aspirational. Why aspirational? You will not be able to afford it now, but, you know, from my allowance, or maybe I ask it as a gift from my parents or from my relatives or from my friends. So that's aspirational. Aspirational is you aspire that in 3 or 4 months, I will get that much coveted, you know, vintage jacket, you know. And in fact, it's now a growing market for pre-love items. We define and execute a well-planned marketing mix. Later, my remaining slides, I will share to you the campaigns that we have done, but these are mostly digital marketing campaign using various channels. Offline activation, normally through fashion shows, and OOH. OOH is you see your banners, your LEDs. So out of the house campaigns, okay? So we do post-campaign analysis. So every time we do a campaign, it's not just, yaudah, it's done. No, we actually do a very a detailed analysis of what actually worked and what didn't, and we do a review of the budget spent. Okay? So what are the marketing channels that we use for pre-love? So email marketing, water break, sorry guys. Email marketing is an important part of keeping current leads engaged and making them feel important and valued. So it is an effective tool for customer retention. This is mostly for our sellers. Landing pages, I'm sure when you shop online, you're familiar with this. What is the landing page, the home page, and the category 1 landing pages content must be updated, relevant with attractive editorial photos, samples which I'm going to share with you later. Each landing page should also include relevant keywords that will help improve SEO ratings. So meaning SEO stands for search engine optimization. Example, I go to Google and then I search pre-love. But if you want to more into details, you will put in the brand. So that's search engine optimization. Blogging, okay. I'm sure you have done your blogs. You can do it in the e-com platform, we do that, or of course on social media. And most of you, not only influencers, are actually also doing already your own personal blogs. Social media, okay? So Facebook and Instagram ads, FYI, cost expensive, but it also brings a lot of traffic. Content of ads must be well planned to keep the target market more engaged. TikTok Shop, I'm sure everyone is into TikTok now, is currently the trending sales channel that gives both high engagement and conversion. My last 2 slides, actually later, FYI, it's a bonus for all of you, which is an added information about social media. I'm going to share to you some analytics which you can actually use for your personal or even as you continue on your journey of learning. Direct and organic channel will bring in new customers and retain it at a very low acquisition cost, as long as the platform will be the top of mind among the target market. Okay, videos greatly increase. I'm going also to share to you sample of videos later. This increases website traffic because they provide a visual and audio explanation of products and services. And again, infographics are another great eye-catching tool because they provide statistics and images of topics surrounding the fashion industry. Okay, so these are the samples of videos that we have actually done. So I'll just run you through it. So these videos are just samples, a combination, some actually highlighted vintage products, collectible products, and some actually highlighted pre-love items. Sorry. Okay, so just some samples of the photos. So whenever we do photo shoots, we make sure it depends on the target market. So the target market here is actually the youth. So we actually get models of young people. And we do a lot of mood boards. Okay, so like my team would actually submit to me like 10 mood boards, and I would just like approve like 2 out of 10. I mean, that's how very detailed and specific we are. I mean, I'm sharing to you how we work, okay, on the back end. So these are just samples of the photos. These are well thought of mood boards. And finally, we get to choose the photos, which I'm sharing with you. So sorry. So this one, so it addresses the youth. So we have men's fashion. We even have like, that the jacket that guy is wearing was actually auctioned for like, would you believe, around 6 juta. See, it's a very simple. Okay, so that's how pre-love is trending right now. Okay, so samples of the banners. So the promotions that we do is actually, we have a lot of discount, which, this one is 74%. And aside from the discount, you also get like an extra cashback, right? Then you get, so is it obvious this is pre-love? But when you see it, it looks like brand new. You have your Marc Jacobs, you have your Prada, you have your LV. So another campaign again, so this is like 100,000 cashback. So you have your Chanel. So why just 100,000 cashback? Because these are more of the tier 1 luxury items, luxury brands. We also do a lot on Instagram. So this one is again for pre-love bags, which is from Second Chance at 40% discount. And this one is from Tinkerlast, wherein Tinkerlast actually accepts, like, if you want to clear your wardrobe, it's on consignment basis. You can actually drop it off. Here is in Tinkerlast stores in Jakarta, and they even have in Palembang. So time to declutter, look at your closet after this, and you can turn your branded items, your luxury items into cash. Okay, so these are some initiatives which I want to share with everyone. So we executed an omni-channel. Omni-channel is actually you transact online and you get your item, collect your item in the store. Because, you're buying, even if it's a second-hand or a pre-love item, you're buying like an item which is more than 1 juta, 2 juta, or tiga juta. So you still want to inspect, okay? Check the item, okay, before claiming it. So go to the store and check it, but you actually transact online. Why? Transacting online, we offer a lot of cashbacks and sometimes like 0%, 0% chichilan if you use our appointed payment gateways. Okay, next is we had exclusive brand collaborations with sellers. I'm sorry, I don't have photos, but we did. Okay, if you want your campaign, take note. If you want your campaign to be successful, add it with the CSR campaign. CSR campaign, it's something like giving back. You can put like a donation of used items or used clothes to ayayasan, okay, or any company, like especially like adoption centers for kids. So why a CSR campaign? This is part of PR. I'm sure most of the students here are marketing students or PR students. And, a CSR campaign is very important for PR. It's making the company looking good, but it's not only looking good, but it's actually, it touches like when you like collaborate with the brand, it makes the brand with the heart. What is a brand with a heart? A brand with a heart is actually that you care. So I don't have the photos, but we did like in the fashion upcycling, we actually did like a CSR campaign wherein we were able to accrue a lot of old clothes, and we donated this to to Yayasan but based in Bandung, because most of the sellers who actually participated are actually based in Bandung. Okay, I have one photo for you. What is an example of Shop My Closet concept, wherein we actually invited both local and yet planning on the international celebrity. But this is one local local influencer. So Elisa Yamada actually shared to us like what would she wear on an ordinary day. Okay, so she shared her closet. So her closet, which is actually from bottoms up, is actually, this is her private collection, which is, okay, so a Prada bag, a Tolola jewelry, Love Bonito tops, and Charles Kit shoes. Okay, the bottoms is actually, which we didn't able to put, this is actually, the tops and the bottoms are actually both by Marc Jacobs, or the top is actually by Anne Klein. So this is an example of a Shop My Closet. We invite celebrities and then we advise them, okay, can you share your closet? What would you wear for an ordinary day? And here she is. And we would take photos and share it on Instagram. Okay, so for us, how do we measure the key metrics of success for a campaign? So this is the digital world, digital space I'm talking with, which is applicable, okay, to an online platform. So we measure it by conversion. So conversion, or CDR in short, is just simply like what sold. Okay, so what sold? So you put it, in your basket and then make the payment. For us, it's sales. So conversion is actually sales. Okay. Customer acquisition. We always acquire new customers. This is very important to us because if you study the funnel, of an e-commerce platform, traffic comes in. So traffic, you're the customer there, but we don't consider them acquired when they don't actually buy. Okay, so that will lead, if you acquire customers, then we must be able to retain that customers, meaning that customer will buy weekly or at least 3 or 4 times in a given month. Okay, so the last is very important, top of mind recall. Okay, if I want to buy my pre-love, I'm going to Blibli. If I want to buy my pre-love, I go to Tinkerlast. So, there's always like, when you purchase intent, or intent to buy something, you would immediately go, okay, to the platform which is in your mind number one priority. Okay, okay. The last 2 slides, okay, I should be sharing infographics about pre-love, but I want to share with all of you. Don't worry, we don't have to screenshot this because Aurelia here and Stephanie will actually share my PowerPoint to you. So this is the latest numbers, analytics with, I just choose 4 social media platforms. This is the latest, which is 2022 data. Okay, TikTok is now the number 1 platform, especially in Indonesia. I'm a Filipino. It's starting to become popular also in the Philippines. Okay, so you have all the data here. How much? This is as of April 2022. How many now are the active users? How many are the downloads? So in terms of, for TikTok, you have 1 billion active users monthly, 3 billion downloads, and then you have also the goals that you need to achieve, the gender distribution, the tips. Okay, let's say if you want to go to TikTok shopping, because they're now into TikTok as a, an e-commerce platform, because they have the TikTok shop. So you have the TikTok analytics, TikTok shop, and TikTok live, and what accounts you should follow. So this is the same with Instagram, as well as Facebook and WhatsApp. So I want to share this as a bonus. I mean, it's still connected with marketing management, but I'm sure you will have a very good, if you use this as a tool, I mean, if you're reporting or something, but if you want to have my help, ask my help into more details, you can just email me or WhatsApp me. Okay, so that's actually my last slide. Thank you very much for your attention, but I want to go back to this and remind everyone that I will only accept entries and choose among the entries if you submit for the next 24 hours. Okay, so I will decide when I accept entries by 2 p.m. tomorrow. And I would just coordinate. And if you're the winner, I will actually email you and I will ask your permission if I can post your caption on my Facebook and Instagram. Okay, and the prize will be sent and delivered to you. This will be coordinated with Aurelia and Stephanie. Okay, that's all. Time now for the questions. Can I stop sharing now, Steph?
Yes, you may stop sharing, Miss Marvie.
Okay.
Thank you so much for all the information and also very interesting presentation, Miss Marvie.
Thank you.
So we will now proceed to the Q&A session. We are yet to receive any question on the chat box. Anyone, please don't be shy.
Yeah, don't be shy, guys.
Yeah.
Keep the
First
question
students.
coming.
Maybe the lecturers also want to ask question. Just drop your question in the chat box, maybe.
Jangan malu, guys. Okay, so let me have my email here. Was my presentation very clear? Or, please ask questions.
Yeah, we just received our first question, Miss Marvie.
Okay.
This is from Aurelia Putri from MGM2. Her question is, she would like to ask that you only accept 2 out of 10 mood boards. Is mood boards that important and why?
Okay. It's always a challenge for me because I'm the one who have the final approval. Okay. And we're very meticulous because fashion is something that in terms of visuals, in terms of what is important is you should be able to send the message across. Okay. If I look at the photo, okay, the message that we're trying to send across must immediately be understood. Okay. And number 2 is that photo should catch attention in 3 seconds. That's the rule now. Everyone knows that. If you post something on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, any content should be able to catch attention in 3 seconds. Otherwise, forget it. You're losing money, you're wasting money, you're wasting your content. Remember, guys, 3 seconds, it should catch your attention. So that's why I'm challenging you, your authentic self caption. It should catch my attention in 3 seconds. Okay? Aside, of course, from what is the content. So that's why it's a challenge for me to approve. Okay? So I choose the best of 2, then I decide the best among the 2. Okay, so it's taking my time. Sometimes like approving creatives, appointing mood board, approving photos. It takes my time until 1 a.m. Okay, Especially if we're doing the campaign like a week before. We don't rush. I mean, decision process is very critical, especially in my level and especially in the categories that I handle. Okay. Did I answer your question, Aurelia? Where is Aurelia? Okay, let me.
Aurelia, are you still here?
Are you still here? Did I answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe another question.
Yes.
I see one lecturer here want to ask question, Mr. Putra.
Okay, thank you,
Sure,
Miss
sir.
Stefano.
Hi, Hi,
Hello,
sir.
hello, Miss Marvie. Thank
Yeah.
you for your information, for your insight, and for a wonderful talk about this particular subject. It's
Yeah.
really, really wonderful to have you here. Just quick question for me. I talk a lot about your presentation. The one that I trick most is relating to the prices. When
Yep.
we talk about pre-love, the prices is kind of blur.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes let's say because the scarcity of the product, the pre-love itself can be more expensive compared to the new ones. So as a customer, or as you mentioned in your presentation, there's a two customer, the one who retail, the one who sell again, and the
That's
actual
right.
customer.
That's
Okay,
right.
for those two customer, how we can see, or how we can expect the price that it like suitable for the pre-love, because sometimes I see the price of the pre-love, because maybe most because of the scarcity of the product, it can be more it's more expensive compared to the others, or compared to the new ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Pa. So generally, let's talk on the seller side. Okay. So generally, so for example, okay, when they, number one, okay, this is on consignment. Okay, let's say at Blibli, if a seller wants to sell, we don't buy it outright, meaning nga bili putus, okay, because I don't have budget for that. So everything is actually on consignment. Okay, so when you say consignment, okay, we still take a look at the item, because sometimes if it's already old, you know, number one, we make sure there are not too many damages, meaning scratch. So the value of the pre-love item depends on the condition. Okay, so if the condition is still really good, it looks like as a new one, the starting price of that, so we would compare, for example, a Chanel bag. A Chanel bag, the small one, the new one would actually sell as much as 30 million rupiah or 30 juta. Okay, so the seller would actually sell it from 50% to 60% off, half the price. So 15 million is still expensive, right? But that's the key, that's the trick of the price of a pre-love item. It always starts at half the price. That's the rule, actually. That's the rule of thumb. Okay, so it always starts at 50% of the original or the new item, and it really depends if it has some scratches or, you know, some, but normally based on our experience, the sellers, it's always like it is good as new. But in terms of the pricing, we always start at 50% off from the new one. We have actually reference already for that. And that would be like additional 10% or even 15% if it has a little scratch, or if the seller is willing to go down just to have it sold. Okay, so that's the pricing for that. If I'm the seller, okay, for the customer, if you ask me about the buying preference, okay, it is actually sold. Okay, the brands that are sold are the popular brands. What is easily sold are actually Chanel, okay, especially the the black, the typical one, the small one. Louis Vuittons are also sold. Okay. We have also like a Birkin Hermes. Okay. So, you know, like the Hermes or Birkin. Hermes bags, there are different kinds. Okay. One time, one seller actually consigned to us the Birkin Crocs. Okay. It's made of crocodile skin. That's very expensive. And people went crazy when we actually posted it. The seller posted it for just 38 million rupiah. And that's really cheap. Okay. And you know, like I wanted to do a bidding because everyone was just inquiring about a 30. That's because the original one actually cost as much as 150 million rupiah. Okay, there's even an ostrich bag. It's a Louis Vuitton bag wherein it retails for now. It's 168 million. It's a new collection of Louis Vuitton. Okay, and people are already asking us, do you have this item as a pre-loved? Okay, so we get a lot of inquiries. It's really like, it's not a niche market, you know, but if really people wanted it badly, they will actually buy it. Did I answer your question, Pa? In terms of the pricing?
So for the Blibli, you have already a price structure for the product here.
That's right. Of
Okay.
the brand new, because we need to have a reference. Okay.
There's another question from
Sure.
the students related to my question before. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Miss Marvie, and also Sir Putra for the questions and the answers. So Nadia, which is from my class as well, she would like to continue the question. She would like to ask, what do you think about people that are selling overpriced pre-loved items since they are considered as vintage? Isn't it contradictory to one of the pre-loved shopping aims to be cost effective?
Okay, that's a very good question, Nadia. Okay, so vintage becomes very expensive when it's only one of a kind. Meaning, one of a kind is, it's not only in Indonesia, but you cannot find this anywhere in the world. Okay? Let me share with you my experience. When I was in the Philippines, I was working for like 12 years with the biggest distributor of toys. Okay? So we have what? Every time I order, is someone familiar here with Gundam? The brand Gundam. I see Saddam. I see Anthony. I'm sure you played with Gundam. Okay? So every time I order to Bandai, because Bandai is the toy company who manufactures it, okay, if it's a very, how do you call that, high price and unique item, Bandai would tell me, Marvie, you ordered this much because this is our last production. Meaning, we will not produce this anymore. And if you count 10 years from now, if I resell my Gundam on eBay, the price would be times 10. Okay, if I purchase my Gundam now for $200, 10 years or even 5 years from now, if I resell it on eBay, that would be 10 times the price. So what do? I just order like 120 pieces. Okay? And people, not even kids, but you know, the dads, or what we call toys for the big boys, are the one crazily buying it. What I do is I put a limit. You can only buy one item because it's just 120 pieces distributed all over the Philippines. Okay, now going back to the vintage, we're talking of, let me use the word, scarcity. Scarcity meaning it's only you who owns that item. Okay? No one else all over the world owns that. if you check the shop of Kim Kardashian, she opened the shop in New York. You know, even a pair of earrings, she is the only ones who owns it. So that's why it sells a pair of earrings for a crazy price of 5,000 US. So vintage is scarcity. The more that this is older and no one else has it, it will really have a very high price tag. Remember, in my slide, that jacket, that's a very vintage jacket, actually sold for 6 juta. It's just an ordinary jacket. Okay, but it's very vintage. So it's really depends on the demand. Okay, but vintage equals scarcity. There are people who's been possessed like Yadu, very sombong. I'm the one who only has this. It's the pride. It's the ego. Come on. And you actually, your generation always has it. Okay? You know, I'm the only one who has it. Okay? But people actually sometimes don't care. Okay? But for you, it's something priceless. So that's why vintage would actually have this very high price. So just remember, vintage equals scarcity. Okay? Nadia, did I answer your question? Nadia, you're very pretty.
Yeah, it answered the question really well. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we have the next two last question. The first one is from Arianta Arvin. He would like to ask that the high brand always being the winner than the low or middle brand. So how for them to make sure to the customers that their brand can compete as the best quality compared to the high brand?
Okay. Can I clarify on that? So meaning, are you talking about the high luxury brands versus the medium price brands? Because I mentioned in one of my slides about the tiering, okay? When we talk of luxury brands, we still have the tiering, okay? The first tier, the second tier, and the third tier. So are you now referring your question as the first tier brands versus the second tier and the third tier brands? Just a clarification.
Yeah, you're right. Just like the first tier is really high brand, right?
Yes,
so
that's right. And high
then
price too.
and then the third tier is like low brand, or maybe I could say like middle brand. So
Yeah.
how can we make sure to customer if we have the best quality either with the first tier?
Yeah. Arianta Arvin, you're actually right. So aside from the price, people would always look for quality. Okay? Because sometimes like people would like to have the first tier luxury brands, because I told you first is the pride and the ego, and sometimes it's like I have this, I own this, and I can afford this. So it's always the impression like you don't have to be actually rich, you know, to be able to afford these brands. And people, when they see that you're holding or wearing these luxury brands, you know, people wouldn't know whether it's a second hand or a brand new. But as long as you're holding this brand, right? Right. Agree, right? So, but okay, if you're a consumer who's really want the value for money, I've been mentioning value for money for already several times, you would always look quality. It's the quality. If the quality is really good, you know, then you will be willing to pay the price for it. Okay. So, and it really depends on like practicality of what you can afford. Right now, I cannot afford even a second-hand first tier luxury brand. I can only afford the second tier, but I make sure that it has the quality that I'm looking at, and of course, it's authentic. So 2 words, quality and authenticity. Did I answer your question, Alvin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I got it. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Arvin, for your question. And we have the last question from Moro, Antonio Gasmoro. He would like to ask, because we're selling pre-love, which are meaning selling an items that we're not using anymore. If we find someone who would really buy a certain item pre-love, but it's already sold out, how then they acquire the customer?
Good question. Okay, so based on our experience, and like, if it's a very much because these pre-love items, it's only like one of a kind. Not everyone can actually like sell 2 bags at the same time. It can be like 2 or 3 bags, but it would be 3 different brands. But when we're talking of like brand, it's just like one item. When we upload it, okay, it immediately gets sold, especially if the price is really not affordable, but what we call is reasonable. Okay, so we cannot control it. I mean, but there would be like customers who would like chat us or even email us. So because at Blibli we have a centralized customer service, and they would send us messages like, if let's say a bag which is like a Ted Baker, one of an experience, we actually uploaded a very nice pink Ted Baker bag, a small one, and it got sold like, after we uploaded it got sold in 4 minutes. Okay, we got several messages and chats like, if you still have like a Ted Baker bag brand, so they're very particular about the brand, a small size, on if any color, then they would like say, please reserve it for me. This is my WhatsApp number. This is my email. This is, so they would reserve it. Okay. So my team, which is my business, my buyers and merchandisers, would actually take note of that. So if that preference based on the description that the item she wants to reserve, then we have that, we immediately contact the customer. So there's like a reserve, which we accept. So you can actually reserve, but be very particular exactly of what you like. Because if it comes, then we immediately contact the customer. Anthony, did I answer your question? You're nodding. You're actually, I'm
Yes,
seeing
miss.
you.
Thank you, miss.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So we Miss Aurelia, do we have
I
time
think
for the
there's
last question?
one more question, Steph.
Yeah.
I'm seeing in the chat box.
Yeah, so the last question is from Svetlana. She would like to ask, what is more effective between a company like approach or a more personal, intimate approach in terms of social media marketing? For instance, having a personal approach where brands would name their customers, like a fandom name or brand lovers, and address them in a quite friendly manner, and constant engagement asking about their customers, they in post captions and such.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, another good question, because this is part of marketing management. Okay. My answer would be depending on the category. Okay. For fashion, we do a lot of personal approach. Because for fashion, any clothing, any shoes, any bags, any jewelry that you want to own, it has like an intimate connection to yourself. Okay, so we do the personal and more personal approach. We would actually take time to answer your inquiries and even assist you if you're asking about a certain product. a very particular product in particular, we would answer all your questions about it. I have a team dedicated to do that. Okay. But, you know, we won't do that, okay, if categories such as groceries. Okay. So in the category that I handle, yes, we do more the personal approach. Okay. And especially like even the campaigns, if you know, I mean, I cannot, you know, share all the campaigns or the photos that we did, but even the campaigns, especially if we're doing like a local brand that we are about to launch, is that there's always the personal touch, and it takes, you know, we take our time to really study the DNA of the brand. I mean, that's how detailed we go, so that if you touch something that's personal, something that you love, something that's very close to your heart, then the customer will feel that they are actually being taken care of. And take note, that's also one strategy of customer retention. I mean, go personal, go intimate. Okay, did I answer the question?
Yes, Miss Marvie.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, so that's all the questions has been answered. Thank you so much again, Miss Marvie, for answering our participants' questions, and also for all the students and also the lecturer that have asking the questions. So before we end our session,
Steph, okay, let
Yes,
me just
ma'am.
remind those who are interested to submit their authenticity captions. I will be receiving entries. I have already posted my email until 2 o'clock tomorrow. So giving you 24 hours. So don't worry, it's worth your effort. The price, I just have two prices, is really very nice. Okay. It's not a limited edition, but it's like, you know, we're not repeating that item. We're not ordering anymore. So, you know, who knows, 5 or 10 years from now, you're just the only two who actually have that item. Pa, my bun is actually laughing. You cannot join, Pa. Only the students here. I'm so happy. We have more than 100 students. Don't worry, every time LSPR invites me for a lecture, I always have a prize. Okay, so yes, go ahead, Steph.
yeah, thank you so much again, Miss Marvie. Don't forget to submit your caption to Miss Marvie's email by 2 p.m. tomorrow. So before we end our session today, Miss Arel, I ask for your assistance. May I kindly also encourage everyone to turn on the camera for our virtual group photo session. So we'll wait for a while, yeah, until all of you turn on your camera. Okay. I still see a lot still.
We have
Turn
5
off the
screens,
camera.
Steph.
Yeah, okay. Miss Aurel, I'll ask for your assistance for this.
Okay, so everyone please stand by and put your big smile because we have several screens and we don't know which screen you are in. So I will start the screenshot in 3, 2, 1. Okay, just a moment. Okay, we will proceed to the next screen. Just waiting for the students again. Okay. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, just a moment. The final screen, please have a big smile. In 3, 2, sorry, the screens keep moving. So some students still trying to open their camera. We will wait for that. Okay, so in 3, 2, 1. All right, we have 3 screens. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Aurel, for your help. Now there you have it. That's the end of our LSPR Omnisation for today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Miss Marvie. I would like to give our biggest thanks for our honorable guest speakers, Miss Marvie Samala, and also to everyone here, our beloved Londoners, our beloved lecturers and students, for attending today's LSPR Omnisation. We look forward to see you again in our next LSPR Omni. If you are interested to join another LSPR Omni session, which is open for all LSPR students actually, the schedules and topics of LSPR Omni can be seen on at lspr.international IG account. And also you may register through tinyurl.com/lspromni 2022. Stay healthy, stay safe, and have a nice day. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ms. Marvie Samala and Mr. Vani Leonardo, and all of the respective lecturers here, Ma'am Anna, Mr. Putra, Mr. Aditya, and so everyone, and our beloved learners. Thank you so much for coming for today's sessions. And don't forget to submit your best captions, your authentic best captions to Ms. Marvie Samala emails, because the prize is already here in our office, and we're so excited to share with you as well.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye, everyone.